Okay, welcome to Project CQ. This is my '05 Toyota Sequoia, and I just got through installing the head unit, and I've got some bits and pieces of how I did this system, and I may or may not post it, but we'll see. Anyway, it's kind of jumbled because I meant to do the install and not really make a video on it. So what this has is it's got the dreaded Toyota JBL system, which sounds like crap, and I could go into that in another video. So what I did is I tore all this console apart. I took all the JBL garbage out of here, the garbage JBL amp, got it out. I rewired everything from the speaker jacks down here, the speaker plug, all the way up to the head unit. I put in Nakamichi separate speakers in the doors and made little baffles for those, mounting baffles out of 1/4-inch ABS plastic. And I left the factory tweeters in because actually once you put the an aftermarket head unit in these vehicles, those factory tweeters actually in the doors actually come alive. They sound pretty decent. So actually they're kind of hot, and they're not really all that good in the JBL system. Anyway, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do like kind of like an old school system, something that you would have seen in 2005. This is about a 2005 vintage head unit. I used to sell these, and I really like them. This is the Alpine CDA 9857. I really like this unit. And this has auxiliary in or AI net in for a CD changer, and what I did is I used my AI net in for an auxiliary input. And what I did with my auxiliary input is I'm using a FiiO BTA30 Bluetooth transmitter and DAC receiver, and I did this because when you use the AI net in on the Alpine, they can be a little deaf for preamp signal wise. So what I'm saying is like, say your volume's like right here and you're jamming on a CD or FM. Well, when you use that auxiliary input to get the same volume, you got to be like up to here. Okay, so I didn't want to do that with this. And because the BTA30 has variable output, preamp output signal from 0 to 3 full volts, it'll drive this deck just beautiful, and it does. It works really well. The reason why I did this is because I'm still old school and I like to play CDs. This has a built-in CD player. These old Alpines have a decent FM tuner in them, and actually not a bad AM tuner as well. And I wanted to, I'm a Pandora junkie, so like I wanted to be able to listen to my Pandora while I'm on the road, and use modern Bluetooth receiver. This is Bluetooth 5.1. So let's go down here, and I guess I should have set this up earlier. Let's see here. Let's get it out of here. Get it out of Pandora. We'll go to Samsung Music, and I'll just go down here to Arabian Sound. This is just, you know, copyright free music. Sorry, it kind of blows, but hey, it is what it is. You get used to it. And what I can do is also adjust the drive. See how that'll get hotter? This is about how it would have been, equal to my other inputs. So I like to be able to balance all that out. So anyway, next up on the project is, seeing as I've got the amp bypass already done, I'm going to throw some amps in here and some subs, and then I can use the internal crossovers in the amps to delegate the proper frequencies to my mids and tweets. I do have the factory crossover packs in there, but I'm going to take a little bit of low end out of these with the crossovers in the amps. Also, another reason why I like this deck is because it has front, rear RCA as well as subwoofer RCA, but I can adjust my frequency points, not only just, you know, bass and treble, but I can adjust my frequency points for my front and rear RCAs, and then of course subwoofer out level, and I got BBE EQing and all sorts of cool stuff in this old receiver, so that's why I'm using it. I'm not really a fan of the new modern touchscreen head units. And I just, honestly, I just haven't really heard anything that I really like. So that's why I'm sticking with my old school Alps. So there you go, guys. I hope you like it. Please leave questions or comments down below. and Project CQ. Got a bunch of radio gear to put in here, and more car stereo stuff, and maybe into summer I might put a little lift on it and some other stuff. But anyway, we got to start in the interior, and yeah, make it nice. Got to enjoy the drive time. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We are going to install the FiiO BTA30 in a Toyota Pocket. Okay, and I'll have that all, mount that all in there and everything. So that's what that's going to look like. Only it'll be centered. I'm using an old Alpine 9857 head unit, which has auxiliary input, and you can get these little connectors. If you have an Alpine with AI net on the back, that's this little connector here. Okay, then you can just go, I'll leave a link to this, just go get an AI net to RCA connector. See, it goes AI net to RCA. And then what I did is I took a short RCA lead, plugged into the back of the FiiO, into my AI net auxiliary input. I'm just now taping up a Bluetooth power supply. So what I did is I put a 1 amp fuse on a little power supply board. This is a 5-volt DC board, so I'm going to tape that up all nice and neat. Then I'm going to take the positive lead, and I'll cut this down to a proper length. I'm going to take the positive lead and hook up to switched 12 volts. Or I could use the power remote lead output from the Alpine, right? Which is, what is it, blue? No, I'm sorry, blue-white was for remote turn-on lead. So basically, I'm going to put amplifiers in the truck, but what I could do, if I wasn't going to put amplifiers in the truck, not worried about power current drain, I could just take the red wire from this power supply and go to my blue and white, and then just take ground and hook it with chassis ground on the Alpine. And then every time I turn the Alpine on and off, it turns this power supply on and off, and then allows me to power up the FiiO. Pretty cool. So we're going to add high fidelity, high-end Bluetooth 5.1 with DAC. And if I wanted to, I could take an optical connector and plug into the back and then go through my holes here, right? And you can see optical input back there, but I don't have an optical input mobile device or output mobile device. So we're just going to have high-end as crap Bluetooth. And the reason why I chose the FiiO is because it has 3 volts RMS output. Because auxiliary in on these decks are a little deaf. Whenever you use auxiliary RCA input, they are a little bit deaf, so you kind of have to crank the volume up a little bit higher. So I'm going to get a little bit higher RCA preamp level drive with that. That's really the main reason why I'm going to use the FiiO. I have many other units I could have done. I was going to put an Audio Engine B1 or a Blue Me or a Blue Dento in here, but they don't have the auxiliary preamp signal that the FiiO does. All right.